If somebody likes you, why won't they actually ask to meet? The messages keep coming, the conversation flows, you talk every day, you know what's happening in each other's lives. Maybe there are voice notes, good morning texts, good night texts, and yet you've never actually met. Weeks pass, sometimes months pass, and you are left wondering, what is actually happening here? Because if they are not interested, why do they keep coming back? And if they are interested, why isn't anything moving forward? I think this is one of the most confusing experiences in modern dating, because people are becoming emotionally invested in relationships that never seem to leave their phones. Later in this video, I want to explore the question that I think creates the most clarity. Are you waiting for a relationship, or are you waiting for potential? If they text me every day, doesn't that mean they like me? I think this is where many people become confused, because the honest answer is sometimes yes. A person can genuinely enjoy talking to you, look forward to your messages, enjoy your humor, your attention, your emotional support, and still not be moving towards a relationship. I remember somebody saying to me, we talk more than some married couples, and yet they'd never met, which highlights something very important. Connection isn't always the same thing as intention. Somebody can enjoy connection without actively building a relationship, and that's where many people get stuck. So why would somebody keep texting without moving things forward? There are lots of possible reasons. Sometimes they are uncertain. Sometimes they are emotionally unavailable. Sometimes they are lonely. Sometimes they are keeping their options open. And sometimes they genuinely like you but are not ready for commitment. I remember somebody saying, every time I suggested meeting, something came up. Work, stress, family, bad timing. There was always a reason. And eventually she realized she'd spent more time analyzing the reasons than looking at the pattern. Because whatever the reason may be, the relationship still wasn't progressing. And that's often the part people overlook. Am I building a relationship or a pen pal connection? This is a question I think more people need to ask, because modern dating allows people to create enormous emotional intimacy through messaging alone. You know their routines, their childhood stories, their favorite foods, their work frustrations, their dreams, and yet you've never sat across from each other. One client laughed and said to me, I know his dog better than I know him. And honestly, that's becoming surprisingly common, because texting creates familiarity. But familiarity isn't necessarily the same thing as building a relationship. And the next question to wonder is, why do I feel so invested if we have never met? Because emotional attachment develops through consistency, not just physical presence. If somebody becomes part of your daily routine, your brain starts recognizing them as emotionally significant. You expect their messages. You miss them when they are quiet. You think about them throughout the day. And before long, the emotional investment feels very real, which is why these situations can feel surprisingly painful, because the emotional attachment becomes real, even if the relationship itself never becomes real. Am I waiting for a relationship or waiting for potential? This might be the most important question in the entire video, because often what keeps people stuck isn't the reality of what's happening, it's the possibility of what might happen. Maybe they are busy, maybe they are nervous, maybe they just need more time. Maybe next month you'll finally meet. And sometimes those things are true, right? But sometimes hope keeps people emotionally invested in a future that never arrives. One client said something I'll never forget. I wasn't attached to what we had. I was attached to what I thought we were about to have. And I think many people recognize that feeling, because possibility can be incredibly powerful, especially when somebody gives us just enough attention to keep believing. And the final question, what should I pay attention to instead? I think one question creates more clarity than almost anything else. What is this person consistently showing me? Not what they are saying, not what they are promising, not what they might do one day, but what are they consistently doing? Because relationships usually involve movement, not perfection, not certainty, but movement. If months are passing and nothing is changing, that's important information. And often it's more valuable than analyzing every message. If you have ever found yourself emotionally invested in somebody who texts every day but never asks to meet, your confusion makes sense. Human beings naturally become attached through connection. The question isn't whether they enjoy talking to you. They probably do. The question is whether they are behaving like somebody who genuinely wants to build a relationship. Because connection can feel real, hope and potential can feel real, but relationships are built through movement. And movement is what eventually turns possibility into reality. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. And if you are interested in modern dating, attachment styles, relationship psychology, and emotional well-being, subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.